You've tried to ignore it for years. The uneasy feeling, the quiet discomfort, the sense that something is off every time you step inside the building that once felt like home. You've tried to pray it away. You've tried to force yourself to fit again. You've tried to silence that small but persistent voice inside your soul that keeps whispering, "You don't belong here anymore." But the truth is, you're not imagining it. You're not rebelling. You're not falling away. You are being called out. And not everyone can understand what that means. There comes a moment in the life of every chosen one when God shifts the atmosphere around them. He begins to reorder their environment, detach their comfort zones, and remove them from circles where their spirit can no longer grow. It feels uncomfortable at first, confusing, even painful, but it is divine. Because when you outgrow a spiritual space, God will not let you stay there without feeling the pressure to move. And no, this isn't about leaving faith. This isn't about abandoning God. This is about following Him. Many chosen ones are going through this same experience around the world right now. They walk into a church and feel unseen, unheard, spiritually underfed, or disconnected from the message. They feel like strangers in a place where they used to feel safe. They wonder what's wrong with them, when in reality, something is finally becoming right. What you are feeling is a sign of spiritual elevation. When you are being raised to a higher dimension, you cannot remain where you once were. The vibration of your soul no longer matches the energy of the place you came from. It's not that the church is evil or wrong. It's that your assignment has changed. You are shifting. Your identity is shifting. Your spiritual frequency is shifting. And because of that, your environment must shift as well. There are seasons when God hides His chosen ones in familiar places to prepare them. But there are also seasons when He extracts them from those same places to activate them. You are walking through that second season now. A holy separation. A divine pulling away. The closer you get to your calling, the more God isolates you. This isolation is not punishment. It is preparation. It is not rejection. It is redirection. It is not abandonment. It is assignment. You have been asking God for clarity, for purpose, for answers, for growth. You didn't realize the first step toward that prayer being answered would be separation. But God knows that if He leaves you where you are, your soul will shrink to match the room instead of expanding to match your destiny. And you can't afford to shrink anymore. You cannot dim your light to keep other people comfortable. You cannot bury your gifts to fit an environment that never made space for them. You are not meant to warm a seat. You are meant to carry a mantle. That is why you feel this holy discomfort. The sermons that once stirred your spirit now sound repetitive. The community that once embraced you now feels distant. The worship that once lifted you now feels hollow. And the more you try to force yourself to feel what you used to feel, the more drained you become. Because God is no longer feeding you from that source. Your spirit is hungry for something deeper. Something more aligned. Something more authentic. Something that speaks to who you are now, not who you used to be. And God will not let you settle in a place that cannot nourish the next version of you. Some chosen ones are being prepared for leadership outside the traditional walls. Some are being trained for ministries that look nothing like the system they came from. Some are being called into healing work, prophetic work, intercession, teaching, writing, building, guiding, or serving in ways the institutional church was never designed to handle. This is why you feel disconnected. God is telling you, you cannot grow in this structure anymore. You cannot be confined by what was. I am calling you into what will be. There are things inside you that the church could not activate because you were never meant to operate only within its limitations. God placed abilities in you that function better in open spaces, spiritual gifts that need freedom, not restriction, revelation that needs expression, not approval, and wisdom that needs release, not containment. You were not made to follow the crowd. You were made to follow the calling. And callings don't always stay inside buildings. Some people won't understand this. They may tell you you're falling away, or lukewarm, or backsliding, but that's because they have never experienced spiritual promotion. They don't recognize what God is doing in you because they've never walked that path themselves. They think leaving the building means leaving God. But chosen ones know better. You don't leave God. You go where He sends you. And sometimes, He sends you away from the place where everyone expects you to stay. Not because you are less spiritual, but because you are more sensitive to His voice than ever. You have matured. Your discernment has sharpened. Your spirit is awake, and you can no longer tolerate spiritual environments that operate with more tradition than transformation, more performance than presence, more politics than purpose. Your soul recognizes when God has moved on. And if God is no longer moving where you are, He will not let you stay comfortable. There are chosen ones who sit in churches week after week exhausted, numb, spiritually drained, and confused, wondering why they no longer feel connected. Wondering why their spirit feels suffocated. Wondering why they crave something deeper than Sunday gatherings. It's because their calling is bigger than the routine they've been living. Many chosen ones are supposed to start prayer groups, healing communities, online ministries, outreach missions, teaching platforms, prophetic mentorship circles, or spiritual movements that break old limitations. Movements that liberate others who also feel spiritually homeless. Movements that reach people the traditional church has overlooked, misunderstood, or rejected. But before God releases a chosen one to build, He removes them from where they are bound. Not every place that once fed you is meant to grow with you. Not every spiritual home is meant to be permanent. Not every chapter is meant to be your final page. Your spirit is shifting because God is shifting you into your assignment. He is teaching you to hear His voice without depending on a microphone. He is teaching you to recognize His presence without depending on a building. He is teaching you to follow His instructions without depending on a system. He is teaching you to be led from the inside, not from the outside. What you're feeling is not emptiness. It is expansion. It is the stretching of your spirit. It is the widening of your purpose. God is removing you from the church so He can place you in the kingdom. The church is a place. The kingdom is a calling. And your calling is larger than a location. Some of you have spiritual gifts that made people uncomfortable: discernment, prophetic insight, healing abilities, deep intuition, spiritual sensitivity. Instead of nurturing those gifts, some environments simply didn't know what to do with you. They misunderstood you. They minimized you. They questioned you. They tried to mold you into something smaller. But you are not meant to be small. You are not meant to stay in spaces where your gifts are feared instead of embraced. God is pulling you out because He needs to place you where your gifts can breathe, expand, and serve a larger purpose. You have a spiritual assignment that requires independence, depth, courage, and a level of surrender that not everyone is willing to walk in. Your separation is not an accident. It is a divine strategy. You are being positioned for a mission that cannot be fulfilled within four walls. Your voice is needed where broken people are. Your wisdom is needed where lost souls wander. Your presence is needed where darkness is thick. Your light is needed in places your former community never dared to go. You are a chosen one, not to conform, but to transform. So if you feel distant, good. If you feel different, good. If you feel like you don't belong anymore, good. If you feel like God is pulling you away, good. That means you are hearing Him. The people around you may not understand your journey, but your spirit does. It knows that staying in a place you've outgrown will stunt your purpose. It knows that obedience is more important than acceptance. It knows that destiny requires sacrifice, sometimes the sacrifice of familiarity, comfort, or community. But God replaces every loss with something greater. The separation you're facing now is temporary. The elevation that's coming will be permanent. You are not spiritually homeless. You are spiritually transitioning. God is not removing you. He is relocating you. You are not being abandoned. You are being assigned. This is your season of becoming. Your season of listening. Your season of expanding. Your season of stepping into the identity God placed inside you before you were even born. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to lead. And that journey begins with leaving the place where everyone expected you to stay. Follow the voice. Follow the signs. Follow the shift. Your purpose is calling louder than the world around you. And this time, you're going to answer. You may not realize it yet, but this separation is not happening to you, it's happening for you. It is one of the clearest signs that you are undergoing a spiritual evolution, a shift that cannot be contained in familiar surroundings. God is preparing you to become someone new, someone wiser, someone stronger, someone far more aligned with the purpose you were created to carry. And the truth is, if He didn't remove you, you would never leave. Most chosen ones are loyal to a fault. You stay where you're planted even when your roots are suffocating. You stay with people long after they've stopped valuing you. You stay in environments long after God stopped feeding you there. You stay where your spirit is starving because you remember what it used to feel like, what it used to mean, how it used to fill your soul. But you are not living in a past season. And spiritual growth requires movement. So God removes you, gently at first, through discomfort, through confusion, through the whisper that says, something isn't right. And when you ignore that whisper, He increases the volume. Suddenly, you feel painfully out of place. Suddenly, conversations drain you. Suddenly, the atmosphere feels heavy. Suddenly, you sense that the Spirit has moved, and your soul must move with Him. This is how God protects His chosen ones from stagnation. Some places were only meant to be training grounds, not permanent homes. Some people were only meant to teach you, not travel with you. Some communities were only meant to refine you, not define you. But now, the refining season is over. Now, the activation season begins. God is not calling you out of the church to abandon the faith, He is calling you deeper into it. He is calling you away from the surface and into the depths. Away from routine and into revelation. Away from religion and into relationship. You are not losing your spiritual foundation. You are returning to the original place where God always intended to speak with you, the secret place, the intimate place, the quiet place, the place where noise cannot distract you and people cannot influence you. This is why He is isolating you. He wants your undivided attention. You have spent years listening to voices around you, leaders, pastors, mentors, communities, expectations. Now He wants you to hear His voice first. He wants to reset your spiritual frequency, unclog your discernment, and break every layer of spiritual dependence that has kept you from rising into your full power. Chosen ones do not walk the same path as everyone else. Your steps are ordered differently. Your journey is more intense. Your spiritual training is more demanding. This divine separation is part of your training. You are being prepared for assignments that require spiritual independence, emotional maturity, and a level of obedience that is not influenced by public opinion. There is a mission waiting for you that will require you to stand strong even when you stand alone. You cannot serve that mission if you are still tied to a place that no longer aligns with where God is taking you. Your spirit senses the shift before your mind understands it. That is why you feel uneasy. That is why old environments feel too small. That is why you feel disconnected from routines that once felt meaningful. You are being transformed internally, and now everything external must adjust. Think of it like this. A bird cannot remain in the nest once its wings are fully formed. The nest served its purpose, safety, warmth, protection, growth, but it is not the final destination. If the bird stays, it will die spiritually, emotionally, and purposefully. The nest is comfort. The sky is calling. And God is pushing you toward the sky. The church was your nest. The kingdom is your sky. And now, the sky is calling your name. There will be people who misunderstand this. They will accuse you of drifting. They will assume you are lost. They will think you are rejecting tradition, rejecting order, rejecting structure. But the truth is, you are not drifting, you are being guided. You are not lost, you are being redirected. You are not rejecting God, you are responding to Him more clearly than ever before. People who have never experienced spiritual elevation will always misinterpret the journey of those who have. Some will say you're changing. They're right. You cannot walk into destiny with the same identity you had in comfort. Some will say you're pulling away. They're right. You cannot stay connected to environments that drain what God is filling. Some will say you're doing too much. They're right. Chosen ones are always too much for people who live at a lower spiritual frequency. Some will say you're thinking differently. They're right. Your mind is being renewed for the assignment God is giving you. They cannot see the transformation happening inside of you. They cannot feel the fire God is stirring in your spirit. They cannot hear the instructions He is whispering in your dreams, in your prayer time, in your moments of stillness. They cannot sense the elevation you are stepping into because it is not their elevation, it is yours. Do not expect everyone to understand your calling. It was not given to them. It was entrusted to you. Some of the greatest spiritual leaders, prophets, healers, and world changers were removed from familiar spiritual environments before God revealed their true purpose. Moses was removed from Egypt. David was removed from Saul's palace. Elijah was removed from Israel. Jesus Himself spent years away from the religious structures of His time. Separation precedes revelation. Isolation precedes elevation. Unfamiliarity precedes transformation. You are walking the same pattern. What feels like a loss is actually a divine unlocking. You are stepping into a realm of spiritual clarity where God will begin to show you things you never saw before, about yourself, your gifts, your mission, your future. He will begin to accelerate your discernment, strengthen your intuition, and sharpen your spiritual authority. You will begin to hear Him more clearly. You will begin to see signs more frequently. You will begin to feel guidance more intensely. Because now, there is nothing blocking the signal. You are in a transition where God becomes your teacher, your guide, your mentor, your spiritual covering. He is rebuilding your foundation one instruction at a time, one revelation at a time, one moment of intimacy at a time. This is not the end of your spiritual journey. It is the beginning of the real one. There is something special about chosen ones who go through divine separation. They come out of it stronger, wiser, deeper, more mature, more grounded, more powerful. They come out with a fire that no one can extinguish, a clarity no one can confuse, a purpose no one can derail. You are becoming that person right now. This season may feel quiet, lonely, strange, or unfamiliar, but it is sacred. God is stripping away the noise so He can reveal the destiny. He is removing the distractions so He can release the assignment. He is cutting away attachments so you can move freely into what He has prepared for you. And what He has prepared is bigger than anything you've experienced so far. You are not being taken out. You are being sent out. You are not being reduced. You are being expanded. You are not being rejected. You are being redirected. There will come a day when you look back and realize why you could no longer stay where you were. You will see the wisdom in the separation. You will see the protection in the discomfort. You will see the divine strategy in the feeling of not belonging. One day, you will say, if God hadn't pulled me out, I would have never stepped into who I really am. And who you really are is someone powerful. Someone destined. Someone chosen. Someone marked by heaven for a unique assignment. You are being prepared for a spiritual role that requires freedom, not confinement. Authenticity, not performance. Depth, not routine. Alignment, not attachment. Trust what is happening. Trust what you feel. Trust what God is doing. You are not just leaving a building. You are stepping into your calling. And this time, you won't walk into it half awake. You won't walk into it unsure. You won't walk into it weakened or afraid. You will walk into it fully awakened, fully aligned, fully empowered. Because this separation is not the end of your faith. It is the beginning of your purpose. You may not see the full picture yet, but every step of this journey is intentional. Nothing about your separation is accidental. Nothing you're feeling is random. Even the timing is divine. God is not late, and He is not early, He is precise. And He has chosen this exact moment in your life to realign your path because something is approaching that requires a different version of you. A spiritually sharper version, a more obedient version, a freer version, a bolder version, a surrendered version, someone who no longer operates from habit but from purpose. Someone who no longer follows tradition, but follows truth. Someone who no longer seeks acceptance, but seeks alignment. That's why the shift is happening now. There is a point in every chosen one's journey when God says, enough. Step out. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because He refuses to let you stay in a place that no longer matches the frequency of your calling. You are growing too quickly for the environment you're in. Your spirit is expanding faster than the container around you. Your purpose is too large for the walls that once held you. And so, God begins to create discomfort as a form of direction. Think about it, if He allowed you to stay comfortable, you would never move. You would never explore the deeper parts of your calling. You would never question what more He has for you. You would remain stuck in the safety of routine, never realizing that routine can be the enemy of revelation. Comfort is the cage that keeps chosen ones small. Discomfort is the wind that pushes them into destiny. The uncomfortable feelings you've been battling, the restlessness, the disconnection, the spiritual fatigue, the sense of being out of place, these are not signs of spiritual decline. They are signs of spiritual awakening. Your soul is waking up to a higher dimension of purpose. And because of that awakening, you can no longer tolerate what once felt normal. You can't tolerate shallow messages anymore. You can't tolerate spiritual performance anymore. You can't tolerate routine worship that lacks depth anymore. You can't tolerate environments where your gifts are ignored or misunderstood. You can't tolerate circles that talk about God but don't walk with Him. Your spirit craves depth. It craves truth. It craves real connection. It craves divine instruction. It craves intimacy with the one who created you. This craving is not rebellion, it's revelation. It is the universe alerting you that your next assignment requires a new environment. Many chosen ones are being shifted out of the church because God is building a new type of spiritual leadership, one that is not limited by buildings, titles, denominations, or protocols. A leadership rooted in authenticity, spiritual discernment, compassion, intuition, and the raw power of God that flows outside traditional structures. You are being shaped to become part of that leadership. And for that to happen, your training must change. Your environment must change. Your spiritual diet must change. Your surroundings must change. God is about to pour something into you that cannot be poured into you while you stay where you are. If He leaves you there, the old environment will contaminate the new oil. If He leaves you there, the old influence will dilute the new calling. If He leaves you there, the old habits will interfere with your spiritual expansion. So He separates you. Separation leads to purification. Purification leads to revelation. Revelation leads to activation. You are in the purification phase now, where God removes what no longer aligns so He can increase what is beginning to bloom inside you. Your mind is shifting. Your spirit is upgrading. Your identity is transforming. The person who once fit in perfectly can no longer fit at all. This is not because something in the environment changed, it's because you have changed. God increased your spiritual hunger. He expanded your capacity for truth. He elevated your discernment. And now you cannot return to what cannot sustain you. Some people will try to guilt you into staying. Some will question your devotion. Some will be threatened by your transformation. Some will try to convince you that leaving the church is the same as leaving God. But chosen ones know the difference. Chosen ones know the voice of God even when others don't hear it. Chosen ones know when the Spirit has moved on. Chosen ones know when God is leading them elsewhere. You are not leaving God. You are following Him. You are not separating from faith. You are being elevated within it. Let the misunderstandings come. Let the opinions rise. Let people talk. They do not see what God is building in you. They do not feel what is growing in your spirit. They do not understand the kind of assignment you carry. You were never called to be understood by everyone. The deeper your calling, the smaller your circle becomes. God often isolates His strongest warriors before releasing them into battle. He takes His chosen vessels to the wilderness before releasing them to the world. He hides His prophets before He uses their voices powerfully. He separates His leaders before He reveals their influence. This is your wilderness season, not a place of punishment, but a place of preparation. Here, God will speak to you in ways He never spoke before. Here, He will reveal hidden things. Here, He will strengthen your character. Here, He will sharpen your gifts. Here, He will break off every dependency that is not Him. Here, you will learn to walk by spirit, not by structure. Do not resist the wilderness. Do not fear the isolation. Do not mistake stillness for stagnation. In the quiet, God is working. In the silence, God is speaking. In the separation, God is reconstructing your inner world. There is something powerful building inside of you, a calling that will impact others, a gift that will break chains, a presence that will transform lives, a light that will expose darkness, a message that will awaken souls. But it must grow in private before it is revealed in public. That is why God removed you from the crowd. There is a fire being lit inside of you that cannot be influenced by external voices. God needs you focused, grounded, clear, and spiritually sharp, because your next season requires precision. You won't be operating as who you were, you'll be operating as who God designed you to become. And that version of you cannot emerge in the place you're leaving behind. Your destiny requires a different level of clarity. Your calling requires a different level of strength. Your purpose requires a different level of closeness with God. You are being refined so that when God calls you forward, you will not hesitate. You will not shrink. You will not fear. You will not question your worth. You will not doubt your identity. You will know that you are chosen. You will know that you are called. You will know that you are guided. You will know that you are protected. You will know that God is with you. You will know what your mission is. And when the moment comes, you will rise. You will step into the role that was written for you before you were even born. You will speak with authority that does not come from man but from heaven. You will walk with a confidence that comes from divine alignment. You will move with purpose that cannot be shaken. You will carry a presence that shifts atmospheres. You are not being set aside. You are being set apart. There is a difference. Set aside means forgotten. Set apart means chosen for something greater. You are being positioned, shaped, molded, sharpened, and aligned for a divine assignment. God is preparing you to walk in spiritual leadership, not the kind that requires a microphone or a building, but the kind that carries influence everywhere you go, in your home, in your community, online, in your work, in your presence, in your words, in your spirit. People will feel something different about you. They will sense your strength. They will seek your wisdom. They will be drawn to your peace. They will be healed by your presence. They will recognize the anointing you carry, even if they cannot name it. That is why God is separating you now. He is clearing the space around you. He is preparing your spirit. He is upgrading your identity. He is elevating your purpose. This is not the end. This is the ascension. You are rising into who you were always meant to be. Your journey does not end with separation, it begins with it. And soon, you will look back and realize, God didn't pull you out to leave you empty. He pulled you out to fill you with destiny.